All right, I bet you thought you were in pretty good shape too. Maybe you were awesome at lifting weights, not like Austin. So you probably thought lifting people wouldn't be too much harder. Perhaps at the very least you were able to make it up a flight of stairs without huffing and puffing, so you figured rolling around the floor for a while wouldn't be too difficult. Or maybe that was just me when I started. Yeah, so when I started, I was actually in that good set shape.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can attest to it's not the same thing. Because I was into running 5 and 10Ks.
Yeah, that was back when you were running. You did a lot of things to actually have cardio at
Oh
that
yeah,
point.
yeah. So yeah, I was
ate well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't this cookie monster
Right.
that you are now.
I love doing. You ever hear of Tabata? I know Austin has Tabatas.
I've heard of them.
So it's
Never
the
done
high intensity interval thing where you're going all out as hard as you can
Yeah,
and then you rest
you've
for
talked
30
to me about
seconds.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude, they're fantastic. But
Sounds like a nightmare.
they're fantastic for sports that don't involve jiu-jitsu. And I'm sure it's good for jiu-jitsu, but that's not good unless you know jiu-jitsu. So
yeah.
it's one of those things where
No, that makes sense. But
yeah, so cardio will help your jiu-jitsu if you're an athlete in jiu-jitsu, for sure. But if you're an athlete in anything other than jiu-jitsu, it doesn't matter. Your cardio
doesn't mean fuck all.
It's moot.
It really doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
For me, I just came in out of shape. I didn't do shit. I ate terribly, and but I still had a metabolism. Like my metabolism literally fell off about 2 years ago, comparative to what it was 4 years ago when I started. Over 4 years ago when I started,
Yeah.
and man, I was thin though. And I never got huffy and puffy. I could run a mile just like, oh, you want to run? Sure. Run a 5 almost 6 minute mile.
Yeah, that's
and
pretty
be
good.
good, And I was like, boom, done. Well,
my best is like
man,
550.
So I was like, I'll be okay. I'll be okay if I start jujitsu. I was not.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Did you throw up on your first day though?
No, I didn't. Oddly enough, I didn't throw up till months in.
But you did. Well,
But I think I was sick.
you might have been sick.
I think I was sick.
Back when it was
'Cause
okay to go when you were sick.
Yeah,
I guess it's fine.
Well,
Everybody's
no,
healthy.
I didn't feel bad, but I had ate pretzels.
Pretzels.
That's not a word.
That's a good word.
Pretzels. On the way in, just for something to eat. I'm like, some sodium, keep the water
Right.
in me. Drank a bunch of water. Got about 3/4 of the way home. I'm like, uh-oh.
No, there's a problem.
My kids are crying in the back because they're all
Oh, they were babies at the
like,
time.
what's
Yeah.
going on? I'm vomiting out the side of the car.
Did you not stop? You just rolled the window
No,
down.
I got in the car.
you
I
did.
opened the door and just vomited. And like, I just look back and we're in the middle of nowhere. They're like, I'm going to go in the car. I'm like, stay in the car. This is great.
Story time. So,
We're never getting, we've gone through like 4 sentences of
dude,
this article.
it's a Jiu-Jitsu Times article. Nobody cares. So, I went out drinking with a neighbor. Like we just kind of met, getting to know each other. Like, hey, it's a cool guy. Let's go out to the bar. So we go to the bar, and I'm stupid. So what I do is start ordering Long Island iced teas because I'm a child.
yeah,
and on
who
the way-
orders those?
Children that don't know how
Yeah,
to drink
pretty
yet.
much.
So I was a baby drinker. So on the way home, I'm like, you got to pull over. Mistakes were made. So he pulls over. I throw up. He's like, all right, you got to pull over again. So he pulls over again. I throw up. We get home. I'm like, shit, one more time. So I'm in my front yard, and I'm like, I think this is it. So I'm throwing up. Well, little did I know, my wife is in the hot tub in the back. She could hear me puking. And she's like, what's going on? And he's being so nice, trying to cover for me. He's like, nothing. Nothing's
Nothing.
fine.
Ignore the vomiting
No, it's
noises.
It's fine. She's like, is my husband puking? No, he's fine. She's like, what did he do? Like I got busted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to carry one of my buddies home. What I now know was quite a long walk
Oh,
because we got so blitzed, neither one of us realized we were in the car. Literally, we're like, time to go home. We had been golfing all day and drinking. Then we went out, and a ER doctor that we used to live down the road from goes, yeah, shots. We're like, what are you for? And we're just taking shots. It was stupid. And both of us we're like, we got to get home. We got to get home. And we go, and we get into his vehicle. And both of us just sat there with the doors wide open. And he looks at me and goes, I forgot we got in the car. I'm like, so did I. And I was more sober than him. But he's like, I'm not driving. He just starts walking down the street.
that's a good choice.
Yeah, it was not. We
That's
were not
better than driving.
We were on Plainfield
Yeah.
15 years ago. Not a good place to be walking.
That's fine.
It was not a good place to be walking. But we walked all the way home, and it was election season.
That's always fun.
So we were throwing up. He got 3/4 of the way home without throwing up. And then he started throwing up on election signs in the neighbor's yards. It's like, oh, that's great.
Only the ones that he was or was not voting for?
No, but he did look at me and go, I'm not voting for this person after he puked on it. I was like, that's awesome. So he wasn't drunk enough to not know he did it, but it was pretty awesome.
He ran on that edge.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, being young and stupid sucks. It hurts. It's painful.
It does, doesn't
Kids
it?
don't do it.
No.
It's not worth it.
No, I keep trying to tell my kids, I'm like, just learn from my mistakes. I
Yeah,
get it. Alcohol seems fun.
Yeah, don't do all the dumb shit I did.
Don't do it to excess.
Yeah, it is never worth it. You'll always regret it. At least I did.
Oh, I did.
All right. So, you found out by now that being in shape and being in shape for jiu-jitsu are two very different things. Agreed. I know you're sore in place. You've never been sore before. How are those forearms feeling? So you probably didn't have this because you weren't the douche nozzle that I was.
No, I was just going to say, I was going to ask Austin, did you ever have sore forearms? I never had sore forearms.
From jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
After my tournament.
Oh, that's different, though.
No. Just like in class.
No.
Did you? Okay, here's some shit. I tried so hard to win when I didn't know jiu-jitsu that every one of my knuckles where you grip the gi, it was worn off. Like it peeled all the skin off every
Wow, your
single
effort level was way
knuckle.
too high.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. And I thought that was like normal. Like, well, you just kind of get calluses and
No, that's not normal.
it was it hurt so bad. And you go home and you're
He
taking
just kept doing it.
then you go, oh, I thought that was just what it is. I'm like, oh, I just got to get through this because, the culture that I was
You
in
probably
first.
thought that was what the tape was for.
I
didn't you?
thought the tape was to stop the skin from coming off because you're gripping so hard.
Yeah, it's not what it's for. I mean, it would help
I was
with that.
that dumb.
Tap tape now available on Amazon.
It's totally true. Go get some.